Recites again. On this video, we're going to do one of the famous poems of Robert Service, The Cremation of Sam McGee. He wrote, Robert Service wrote many poems about the Yukon territory, about happenings in the Yukon territory, and this is one of them. And I should explain first that the short introductory verse at the beginning of the poem is the same as the ending verse at the end of the poem. So at the beginning of the poem, it sort of is a preview of what happens in the poem proper, and at the end, the same poem kind of sums up what has happened, what you have just listened to. So here we go with the cremation of Sam McGee. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who toil for gold. The Arctic trails have secret tales that will make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest sight they ever did see was the night on the marge of the Lake Labarge when I cremated Sam McGee. Now Sam McGee was from Tennessee, where the cotton blooms and grows. Why he left his home in the South to roam around the pole, God only knows. He was always cold, but the land of gold seemed to hold him in a spell. Though he'd often say in his homely way, I'd rather live in hell. On a Christmas day, we were mushing our way o'er the snowy Dawson Trail. Talk of the cold through the parka's fold, it stabbed like a driven nail. If we closed our eyes, our lashes froze till sometimes we couldn't see. It wasn't much fun, but the only one to complain was the hapless Sam McGee. And that very night, when the dogs were fed and the stars o'erhead were dancing heel to toe, he came to me and, Cap, he said, I'll cash in this trip, I guess. And if I do, I'm asking you to honor my last request. Well, he seemed so low that I couldn't say no. And then he said in a sort of a moan, "'Tis the cursed cold that has taken right hold and chilled me through to the bone. Yet 'tain't being dead, it's my awful dread of the icy grave that pains. And so I want you to swear that foul or fair, you'll cremate my last remains." A pal's last need is a thing to heed, so I swore I would not fail. And we started on at the crack of dawn, but God, he looked a ghastly pale. He crouched on the sleigh and he raved all day of his home in Tennessee. And before nightfall, a corpse was all that was left of Sam McGee. There wasn't a breath in that land of death, and I hurried, horror-driven, with a corpse half hid that I couldn't get rid because of a promise given. It was lashed to the sleigh, and it seemed to say, "You may tax your brawn and brains, but you promised true, and it's up to you to cremate these last remains." Now a promise made is a debt unpaid, and the trail has its own stern code. So in the days to come, though my lips were dumb, in my heart I cursed that load. In the long, long night, by the lone firelight, while the huskies round in the ring howled out their woes to the homeless snows. Oh God, how I loathed that thing. And every day that quiet clay seemed to heavy and heavier grow. Yet on I went, though the dogs were spent, and the grub was getting low. And the trail was bad, and I felt half mad, though I swore I would not give in. And I often sang to the hateful thing, and it hearkened with a grin. Till I got to the marge of Lake Labarge, where a derelict there lay. It was jammed in the ice, and I saw in a trice it was called the Alice May. I looked at it, and I thought a bit, and I looked at my frozen chum, and here, I said, with a lusty cry, is my crematorium. I tore some planks from the cabin floor and lit the boiler fire. I found some coal that was lying around, and I stoked the fire higher. The flames just soared, and the furnace roared, such a blaze you seldom see. And I poked a hole in the glowing coal, and I stuffed in Sam McGee. Then I took a hike, for I didn't like to hear him sizzle so. The heavens scowled, and the huskies howled, and the winds began to blow. It was icy cold, yet hot sweat ran down my cheeks, and I don't know why, and the greasy smoke in an inky cloak went shrieking down the sky. I do not know how long in the snow I wrestled with grisly fear, but the stars came out and danced about, ere again I ventured near. I was filled with dread, but I bravely said, I'll just take a peek inside. I know he's cooked, but it's time I looked. So the door I opened wide, and there sat Sam, looking calm and cool in the heart of the furnace roar. And he wore a smile that you could see for a mile. And he said, please close the door. It's fine in here, and I greatly fear you'll let in the cold and the storm. Since I left Plumtree down in Tennessee, it's the first time I've been warm. There are strange things done in the midnight sun by the men who toil for gold. The Arctic trails have their secret tales that would make your blood run cold. The northern lights have seen queer sights, but the queerest sight they ever did see was the night at the marge of Lake Labarge when I cremated Sam McGee. Okay, I hope you enjoyed Sam McGee. This is Rex from Recites saying goodbye, and if you have not yet subscribed to my YouTube series, please do so below. Thank you. Goodbye.